welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to Big Boy Arena. The music's blasting and the Prowlers and Rockers are getting set for the final game of 2024. This is the first game of the day in the FPHL, so wherever you're tuning in from, we thank you so much for picking us for your afternoon entertainment. Well, it is a tradition. Each team with a victory in the New Year's Eve editions of the Battle of I-94, and we'll see who can take the lead in that category here today. First, let's take a look at last weekend's game for these two teams, and the Rockers actually defeated the Dashers. That is an incorrect score. Rockers won it 4-3. Trevor Babin made his first start since November the 8th, 37 saves, and Motor City escaped the Dashers, although Babin will not be here tonight. He was announced as inactive earlier today. This scoreline is correct. Prowlers blew a 3-1 third period lead to the Athens Rock Lobsters on Saturday to fall 4-3 in overtime. Carter Shinkarik had the OT winner. Former Prowler Brandon Picard with a couple of goals. Port Huron with a tough loss to swallow, as they do get a point, but unable to upend a great team in the Rock Lobsters last weekend, and they had a great opportunity to do so. So you take a look at the standings in the Empire Division. Prowlers just 1 point up on the Rockers now for the fourth spot in the division, and 2 points behind the Hat Tricks for third, kind of wedged there in between in a tough spot. And again, the Rockers 1 point back, and Motor City has 2 games in hand on the Prowlers to play, so they certainly have all kinds of opportunities to move past Port Huron, even if the Prowlers play well the rest of the season. But they have a chance to beat the Rockers and certainly give themselves a little bit more breathing room. Well, Tristan Wells has had a strong past few weeks, as he has 5 goals and 8 points in his last 8 games. Big part of the Rockers offense recently. 3 points in 3 games against the Prowlers this season. And we've talked about Port Huron trying to find goals this year. Tucker Scantleberry has helped them a lot offensively as of late. 11 points in his last 9 games, including 8 goals. That includes the hat trick in Binghamton, 2 separate 3-game goal streaks for Scantleberry, and he is a huge part of the Prowlers offense this season, as he leads the team with 11 goals this year, and again, 8 of those goals coming in his last 9 games. I talked with Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin ahead of tonight's game about what it all means on New Year's Eve. That was Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin on tonight's game. And as I asked that last question, Prowlers have spent the last 2 years after playing the Motor City Rockers, they would head down south to face either the Mississippi Seawolves, usually the Mississippi Seawolves, either in Baton Rouge or in Biloxi. But this year, they get to go home after this game and spend New Year's Eve in Port Huron. They will do so at the Brass Rail Bar in downtown Port Huron. So, if you're tuning in now and you want to see your Prowlers tonight, after this game, they'll be heading over to the Brass Rail to celebrate New Year's Eve. So, come meet them there and come hang out. I'll be there as well, if that's of any interest to anybody. Well, the Prowlers going with the exact same lineup as Saturday's loss in Athens. That 11 forwards and 5 defensemen group. Isaiah Paris and Joel Frazee draw into the lineup for the second straight game. Frazee, after being scratched 2 straight, is the one extra forward, and Paris, of course, coming off the IR last game. Teams hitting the ice right now here in Fraser. Prowlers and Rockers about to get underway. Let's give you the starting lineup presented by Orthopedic Associates for your Port Huron Prowlers. It will be Tucker Scantleberry, who we talked about in the pregame show as a catalyst on the score sheet so far this season. He'll be on the wing with Jamie Bussell, who scored his first goal as a Prowler on Saturday, and Stefan DC. We'll also have the Brock and Locke pairing, Ben Brockway and Brett Lockhart on defense, and Valtteri Nusiainen between the pipes tonight, as Nusiainen made his 15th start as a member of the Prowlers on Friday, despite taking the loss, but that gave him enough games to at least put him into the Prowlers' individual season records for goals against average and save percentage. And of course, these numbers can change, but right now, Nusiainen with the second best goals against average in a season for the Prowlers, with a minimum of 15 games played, with a 2.39 goals against, and the same with save percentage, a 926 save percentage. That puts him second in Prowlers history in save percentage for a season. Again, those numbers can change. He can move up, can move down that list, but that is where he stands now. Let's take you down to ice level for tonight's national anthem.
If able, in pause for a moment of silence to honor and remember the brave men and women of our armed forces who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Please stand and bow your heads in respectful reflection. Thank you. Chick-fil-A of Shelby Township asks that you remain standing. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Current and former military personnel may keep their hat on and render the military salute. It is now time for our national anthem, being performed by Fraser High School student Riley S. and signed by Melissa Butkovich Caraway.
That is tonight's national anthem from Big Boy Arena. Rockers going with just 14 skaters tonight, as they did not replace Carson Baptiste, who was put inactive earlier today. They did replace Trevor Babin, though, as they signed Bryn Sommerfeld, who has been around all season for the Rockers, but just is being signed tonight. As I just did get word that Sotirios Karageorgis is apparently in tonight, and that the league forgot to return him from suspension. He served a 1-game suspension on Saturday night, but I'm being told here again that Sotirios Karageorgis is in, although not listed on the game sheet tonight because he's still listed by the league as suspended. So put that note down on your score sheet as we get set to go. It'll be TJ Sneath and Jamie Bussell to take the opening face-off tonight. New Year's Eve action. Battle of I-94, Prowlers and Rockers. Want to apologize firstly for the rough camera angle tonight. The Rockers were unable to provide us with cameras for tonight's game, so we had to put one up real quick right at the end of warm-ups there. So unfortunately, this is what you'll get, as Nusiainen covers up the first dump, and we'll get our first whistle just 14 seconds in. But again, I do appreciate the Rockers giving me a camera operator tonight, but again, we do not have their cameras in the great locations that they do typically have them here. Quick shot off the face-off, blocked by a sliding Scantleberry, popped up in the air, and now Jamie Bussell goes back behind his own net. He starts ripping up ice on the left wing side. Bussell makes a nice move to get free. Bussell works in, still with the puck, and he'll dump it around. Stefan DC picks it up on the other side. Took a check, sent towards the net by Brockway, and gloved and held by Ricky Gonzalez. As we take a look at tonight's starting goaltending matchup, it will be Nusiainen and Gonzalez tonight. Both of them with some fantastic numbers this season. Gonzalez with a .920 save percentage, as he averages over 40 shots per start this season. Joe Frazee will take this face-off against Avery Smith, and Frazee wins it back clean. Here's Parsons across to Johnson. Backhands it down and around to Chartrand behind the net. Works his way up the half wall, cycles it back to this side, and Johnson pinches in, but he overskated it, and Frazee plays it back in neutral ice. Parsons up to Johnson. Spinning away on the half wall. Now Avery Smith pulls it up. He has a chance, gets it to Wells in tight, and Nusiainen shuts it down. Prowlers can't escape the zone, but Wells' pass didn't find Smith, and Johnson controls. Up in the direction of Isaiah Paris. Puck escapes the Prowlers' end. Sent in by Paris, knocked back out of the air, and Chartrand puts it in the corner. Rotundi wraps it around to the far side. Brockway, fresh off the bench, tried to send it on goal. That hit a stick, and Chris Buys turns with it. Fresh off the IR, has not played against the Prowlers this season, returned last weekend to play against the Dashers. This is just game number 4 this year for Buys. He did play in the preseason game against Port Huron, though. But again, no regular season games in the Battle of I-94 yet for number 9 in black. Here's Federley. Touched in by Millette. Rotundi wraps it up the far wall, and it comes back this way. Delstrom chasing after it back in his own end. Head up, gives it up to Federley. Turning up ice. Johnson, left wing side, as Federley going to the net, floated it there. Or Bussell, pardon me, going to the net. He did send it there, and that one stopped. But the Rockers have taken a penalty, as that one launched right out of play by Adam Kuhn. So an early power play coming for the Port Huron Prowlers. Delay of game against Kuhn. Port Huron's man advantage did get a goal in each of the 2 games last weekend against the Rock Lobsters, but couldn't come through in the third period on Saturday in a tight hockey game. A game that eventually went to overtime that the Prowlers lost. Rockers a little bit better on the special teams in the past few weeks than they had been to start the season. That was the key to their success the last couple of years with special teams. 6 for 7 last weekend against the Dashers on the PK, up to 8th in that category in the league. Prowlers power play is 10th in the FPHL. Here's Brett Lockhart, who scored a power play goal on Friday in Athens. Giving it to Millette, and now Frazee. Turning the corner, gives down to Chartrand, and now up high to Lockhart. D to D, Scantleberry sends it on goal, stopped by Gonzalez, and Chartrand goes toppling over him. And the Rockers will have a word with Chartrand about that. And Port Huron switches up the unit. Jamie Bussell stepping out. He scored his first goal as a Prowler on the man advantage on Saturday against the Rock Lobsters. Off the face-off, rimmed all the way around, kept in by Federley, quickly over to Johnson. Sim touches it back to Federley. Floats it across to Johnson. And now Graham steps across the blue line. Johnson works back up top. Hands off for Federley, and he just couldn't keep it in. Delayed offsides against the Prowlers, so Motor City will take some time. And Miguel Diaz tried to launch it down ice. That didn't work. Here's Bussell, stopped by Gonzalez. As Miguel Diaz had his clearing attempt knocked down by Matt Graham. And Ricky Gonzalez able to come up with a big save on Jamie Bussell. 58 seconds left on this Prowlers man advantage. That was a great A opportunity for Port Huron early on in this game. Draw coming to Gonzalez's right. Gagnon almost went the other way on a shorthanded break, but it is cleared down by the Rockers. Music blasts here at Big Boy Arena, as you heard during that whistle. Here's Scantleberry sending it around to the near side. Chartrand up towards Millette. Try to force it back down the wall. Frazee able to get it into the corner, and he gets after it with Oakes. Chartrand handed it off to Frazee. And now Scantleberry across to Millette. Back to Scantleberry, steps down, put it in front, and a save by Gonzalez a couple of times as Chartrand got the tip on the first try, and then he got a rebound chance. Scantleberry tried to feed the back door where Frazee was sneaking down. Now Scantleberry sneaks down the wall, looking for that loose puck. Wells goes off the glass, and now the zone. That will take care of the rest of the penalty. Prowlers get 3 shots on net officially on that power play, but we're still scoreless as Lockhart gave it away. Here's Sneath with a chance, hands it back, all quick shot. Easy glove save for Nusiainen off the stick of Eli Rivers. Rivers, who's tied for the Rockers team lead in goals with Sneath with 11 and assists with Nick McGill Diaz with 12, and has the outright lead with 23 points in his first season. Tristan Sim able to win this one back from Sneath. Rivers disrupts the clearing attempt from Ludwig Thelstrom, and now Rivers working in the Prowlers zone. Pops out to the middle of the ice. Paris lost in his skates. Thelstrom to the back door. That didn't work. It's in the crease, and Nusiainen backs, able to, on his back, freeze the puck, and then some trouble in front of the net as a crowd gathered. While Terry Nusiainen with a save. So another draw deep in the Prowlers zone here. Port Huron up on shots early on, 4-3. As Sneath and Graham get set for this face-off. Graham able to win this one back. Comes around to Johnson. Back for Brockway. Hangs out behind his own net. Watched by Matthias Tellstrom. Now Brockway up to Graham. Turns and finds Millette. Racing up the right wing side, in with Federley. Over to Johnson, the trailer, and a glove save by Gonzalez. As Austin Federley went into the post along with Rotundi. Both Port Huron natives played with and against each other, certainly growing up. They'll have some words as we take a timeout. No score on New Year's Eve in Fraser.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network, providing resources and funding to help start or grow your business. Small business support in participating Region 6 counties. Take advantage of the network's free training and events for entrepreneurs and small business owners. The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network aims to boost your chances of success. Learn more about the network's Small Business Cohort Program. With rentable workspaces, business coaching, training, and funding opportunities, it's time to become a client of the Eastern Michigan Small Business Network.
Back here at Big Boy Arena, still searching for our first goal. 14:47 left to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Prowlers 0 for 1 on the power play so far. And they'll get an offensive zone face-off here after the nice save from Gonzalez on Alex Johnson just before the break. Gagnon able to move it to Smith. And now Wells working on Millette. He'll send it off the corner boards. Smith and Federley tied up. Moves down the wall. Felstrom slides it right back up the near side. Delaney came in to pinch on Federley. Here's Gagnon. Turnaround try. That was stopped on the way through by a stick. Millette didn't get much on that clearing attempt. And now Gagnon trying to spin away from Johnson. Lost the puck as he did. Miguel Diaz able to poke it away from Millette as he was oncoming, looking for the puck as it dropped. Meanwhile, it's sent over to the far side. Scantleberry back to the point to Johnson. Tried to make a pass down low, looking for a couple sticks. Graham in tight, stopped by Gonzalez as he got a good swipe at that puck. Gagnon goes off the boards. Now Parsons lost it to Wells. Wells on the outside as Parsons caught up to him. Only got a weak shot on net. Delayed penalty coming up. Looks like against Motor City. As Parsons went down in a heap when he and Wells went to the corner together. 13:35 left to go in period one. Prowlers back to the man advantage. And a high stick being called against Tristan Wells. So second man advantage of the period for the Prowlers. And they send out the unit with Joel Frazee centering. And he'll face TJ Sneath in the dot. Prowlers got 3 shots on their first power play of the game. 2 of them from this unit. As that one kicks off of Lockhart's skate, and Josh Colton tried to slap it down ice. It lands for Rivers, but the puck was on edge, so he couldn't get it on goal. Millette comes back to take it. He starts up, and he feeds Scantleberry racing up the right wing. Scantleberry takes the shot, and Gonzalez looked behind him, but he had it. As Scantleberry with a head of steam came right down the ice, and Ricky Gonzalez forced to make another save on him. Scantleberry on a 4-game point streak. 5 points in that time. He saw his 3-game goal streak end on Saturday, but did pick up an assist. As Matt Graham wins this face-off back. And the other unit on there for the Prowlers now. Bussell walks up high, gives over to Johnson. Races down the left wing, takes the shot, rising up high, fought off by Gonzalez. And Bussell takes it back at the point, across to Federley. Works across the blue line, finds Graham. Back to Federley. On net, that one just went wide. And Sim collects it off the backboards. Federley again, touch to Johnson. Leaves for Federley. Shooting lane, and it's gloved down by Ricky Gonzalez, as Federley found himself a good look at the net. 58 seconds left on this man advantage for the Prowlers, and already 3 shots on net on it. And there would be times when the Prowlers would go entire power plays without shots multiple times in a game. Not this time. Already 6-man advantage shots for them in this one tonight, just on their 2nd-man advantage. Millette right at the top, looking down towards Chartrand. Milam got his stick in the way. Prowlers trying to regain possession along the wall. Frazee with a break to the net, back to the forehand, and he just couldn't slip it on net. And it's cleared down by McGill Diaz as Frazee broke in front. Rockers came back to try and knock it off his stick, and they were just able to as Frazee tried to wrap it around Gonzalez's pad. Here's Lockhart firing it down and around. Chartrand takes a hit from McGill Diaz. To his side, Scrum, Rivers, and Scantleberry in there as well. Scantleberry looking across towards Lockhart. Sneath got his stick on that pass. Scantleberry down low towards Chartrand. One tipped away, and it's cleared just out of the zone, and that will take care of this Prowlers power play. So Port Huron 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Still threatening, but Scantleberry's pass slips out to neutral ice. Reggie Millette looks to turn up. Tried to slip it towards Bussell fresh off the bench, but missed him. So icing called against the Prowlers with 11:18 left in period 1. Well, no goals yet on the power plays, but certainly some encouraging signs from Port Huron, getting some good looks towards Ricky Gonzalez. Of course, Gonzalez used to seeing a lot of good looks this season, as the Rockers have given up a ton of shots this year. You see Sotirios Karageorgis in the faceoff circle against Jamie Bussell this time. And Karageorgis was suspended last Saturday, and he served that suspension against the Dashers, but was never taken off of the suspension list by the FPHL. But he is back, so the Rockers playing with 15, not 14 skaters tonight. That was a good play by Kenny Stiles. They keep Motor City from getting to the net, and now Bussell has Paris going to the cage. Tried to slip it there. It was poked away by Gonzalez. Sent back this way, Bussell with his head up. Puts it back deep. Stiles makes a turn towards the net. Watched by Colton, flips it across. Brockway, one-timer, and that one just bounced past the cage. Brockway didn't get much on it, but it almost caused a little trouble for Gonzalez. Oaks cut off Stiles. Bussell and Karageorgis kicking at that puck. And Bussell finally able to boot it over towards Stiles. Back pass in front, couldn't find Paris. And up comes Karageorgis. And now behind the play, we have a little something. Buys and Paris, as they're both dropping the gloves. Linesmen get in between. Oh, Buys and Paris wanted to go, and the linesmen decided that they wouldn't be. Not sure what the original penalty was, as it happened behind the play, but Isaiah Paris dropped his mitts, so did Chris Buys. We'll see if those become penalties. 10-11 left to go in period 1. Paris a little bit surprised here that he wasn't allowed to fight. Captains Austin Federley and Josh Colton standing over there by the penalty boxes. We'll see what the call is. One aside in the boxes. It looks like Austin Federley is signaling to his bench that his team's a man up. So maybe Buys was getting the original penalty, and then he and Paris decided to do their little glove dropping routine without fighting. It looks like the Prowlers did their third power play of the period, 0 for 2 so far, but plenty of shots. Kara Georgis will head over to serve the 2 for buys, and we'll let you know as soon as the penalties come down exactly what they are. Oh, Graham and Sneath will start off this Prowlers power play as Buys gets 2 minutes for slashing. That is likely the original penalty. That's the reason he's sitting in the box. Bussell works down the wall, out high looking for Federley. Pass too hot to handle, but Federley able to keep it in. Johnson. Head up, looking towards the net. Now he goes back to Federley. Buys and Paris each get 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. Here's Johnson towards Federley. Passes in his skates, turned it on net, and it slipped through the traffic and wide. Bussell has to come back to the neutral zone for it. Port Huron beginning to switch up the unit as Bussell leaves it for Lockhart fresh off the bench. 40 seconds gone in this Prowlers power play. Scantleberry gets around Kuhn. Whips it across. Millette picks it up off the boards. Down to Scantleberry. He works his way up high. Drops for Lockhart. Quickly down to Millette. Back to Lockhart. Now Scantleberry. Over on the left wing this time. To Lockhart. Freezy the one-timer. Couldn't get it off, and then he got a wrist shot that was punched out by Gonzalez as he fanned on the one-timer, but still got a good chance. Scantleberry works down the boards. Now for Millette, cutting to the middle. Put it on. Saved by Gonzalez. The rebound knocked back towards the blue line. 35 seconds left on this Prowlers power play. Millette steps around Kuhn. Trying to work around Milam. Forced back to the boards. Millette to Lockhart. Now Frazee. Works to the backhand. All the way around. Tried the wrap. That didn't work. Lockhart. Drop for Scantleberry. Thought about the shot, goes back to Lockhart. Chartrand battling in front. It's poked away from Lockhart. Here comes Avery Smith, short-handed. Backhand, and he scores. A short-handed goal for Avery Smith and the Rockers, and they start the scoring tonight. Team high second shorty of the year for Smith. His 8th goal overall, as Lockhart had some trouble with it at the blue line. Smith able to poke it away in the final seconds of this Prowlers power play. The Rockers score first. They've scored first in all 3 Battle of I-94 games at Big Boy Arena this season. Again, this is the 3rd time the 2 teams are matching up here. That will do it for that Prowlers man advantage. The unassisted goal for Avery Smith. And Port Huron looking for an answer as DC lost it. Rivers tried to turn it up. That didn't work. Off of Tellstrom's stick, so no icing. Parsons turns away from Matthias Tellstrom. And now it's Federley sending it across to DC. He dumps it in. Gonzalez comes out to grab it with the glove. He dropped it for a moment. Now Graham and McGill Diaz getting into it a little bit near the side of the cage. They'll have some words and they'll be separated, and we'll take a timeout. Avery Smith, short-handed, has given the Rockers a 1-0 lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal.
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Back here at Big Boy Arena, still in the opening period, and the Rockers have the only goal so far. Avery Smith with his 8th of the year, short-handed. The Prowlers 0 for 3 on the man advantage so far tonight, and now they're negative on the power play. I have an offensive zone draw here. Scantleberry in to take it, but he lost it to his number 17 opposite, TJ Sneath. Rivers gets in, tried to return feed to Miguel Diaz. That didn't work. And now Bussell on the counter. Has DC with him. Bussell turns, tried to send it all the way across for Thelstrom. That was knocked out of the air. Thelstrom to DC. Pushes his way out from behind the cage. Now Johnson to Thelstrom. Back down low. DC and Miguel Diaz tie up. DC comes out with it. Out high, Thelstrom looks for a shot. He scores! Ludwig Thelstrom with a quick rip from the point has tied it at 1. Little seeing eye wrister that time. Caught the top corner over Gonzalez's blocker. And Ludwig Thelstrom has his 2nd goal of the year. He snaps a 7-game point drought. And he ties us up at 1 goal apiece. And there's no way Gonzalez saw that puck by his reaction. He did not see that one come through. Plenty of traffic in front. And a quick response from the Prowlers. They're looking for more, but Thelstrom tries to work his way out, sends a pass across to Kuhn that was out of his reach. Lockhart bounces it to Stiles. Sends Shartrand in. Collects it in the corner. Rims it around in Sims' direction. Now Sims centered. Only on Rotundi's tape. Kept in by Lockhart. Down to Stiles to the net, and Gonzalez had to steer that one away. Sent around to this side. Lockhart keeps it in. Back to the far side. Georges touches it through. Thelstrom trying to spin on Shartrand, who picked his pocket. Shartrand to Stiles. Takes the shot, and Gonzalez with the save. He'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. So Thelstrom's goal coming just 49 seconds after Avery Smith's in game time. Stefan DC and Alex Johnson picking up the helpers on the goal by Thelstrom. It felt like longer because we had a commercial break in between, but it was a very quick response from Port Huron. Here's Federley all the way around the net. Checked by Milam. Johnson picks this pass up off the boards, and he gives it to Brockway. Head up, goes back across to Johnson. Tried to turn down the wall. Millette comes in to assist, and he gets it down to Graham. Johnson, back pass for Brockway, steps into it. That one deflected into the corner. I think Millette got a touch on it. Millette leaves it for Federley, but he couldn't handle the pass cleanly. May have handcuffed him a little bit. The Prowlers have to exit the zone. That pass up to Graham out of his reach, and it turns into an icing against Port Huron with under 5.5 left in this opening frame. And Stefan DC with his assist on Thelstrom's goal extends his point streak to 4 as he's heating up a bit. As Graham will take this face-off against TJ Sneath. Johnson pulls it out, slipped it up to Millette, and it's kicked along for Federley. Tried to toss it in. That ended up in the Rockers bench, I believe. We'll get a whistle and a face-off, and Port Huron making some changes. They send out DC's line with Bussell and Scantleberry. Again, if you missed the pregame show, Prowlers going with 11 defensemen or 11 forwards 11 defensemen would be crazy. 11 forwards and 5 defensemen tonight, as they did on Saturday in Athens. DC centers, looking for Scantleberry, diving play by Sneath. Kept the Prowlers leading goal scorer from an in-tight chance all alone. DC just slipped that one wide. Rivers tried to play it back to McGill Diaz, and now it's up to Sneath. Tossed out, Parsons turns the corner, and Bussell sends it right back in. McGill Diaz pulls up away from DC. Pass was out of the reach of Tellstrom. Lockhart back deep. Scantleberry after it. Twisting and turning on Sneath. Lockhart down to Bussell. Back over to Lockhart. Sends it on goal. In and out of the glove of Gonzalez and swept to the wall. Launched down into the corner by Parsons. Kicked along by Sneath. Bussell in there. It's pulled out by Sneath. And he's able to send it deep into the Prowlers' end and allow the Rockers to get a change. 4:15 left in the opening period. Parsons up towards Bussell. Tried to go across to Lockhart. A little too much sauce on it as it went over his blade. And Lockhart can't get it out. Here's Kara-Georgis as he got a pass in the slot, but he was surrounded and couldn't get a shot away. Kara-Georgis rubbed down along the wall by Stiles. Shot from the point. Save made by Nusiainen as he clutches it to his chest. Josh Colton got that shot away. And with 3:51 left to go in period one, we'll take a timeout. Ludwig Thelstrom has tied things up here in Fraser.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here at Big Boy Arena, late stages first period, tied up at 1. Congratulations to the University of Michigan football team, defeating number 11 Alabama today in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Michigan scored 16 points in the first quarter, and then 3 the rest of the way, but it was enough as the defense played a huge role. Again, 19-13 the win for Michigan to close out the season, and that's a nice way to finish off what was a bit of a tough year for Michigan coming off the national championship last season. As now the referees are heading over to the scorers table. Tonight's referees are Jonathan Sitarsky and Jonathan Paradise, the linesmen Brandon Badens and Colin Pons. Josh Colton, Jamison Milam, and now Austin Federley over there to inquire about what's going on. There were some discussions in front of the Prowlers bench for a few moments out of the TV timeout. Daniel Chartrand, Prowlers alternate captain, heading over there as well. And now the group breaks up. Again, I'm unsure of what sparked all of these discussions and conferences, as they're chatting with Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin behind the bench tonight. And now the faceoff will be deep in the Prowlers' end, and we'll never know what they talked about. Actually, Sotirios Kara-Georgis is heading off the ice. So maybe Kara-Georgis is not allowed to play this game because he's not on the roster. Again, from what I was told from Brady Beaton, the Rockers play-by-play announcer, Garrett Georges served his suspension on Saturday against the Dashers, but maybe since he's not officially on the game sheet, he's not allowed to play. Here comes Frazee on the left wing side. Missed the net with that shot. I know Frazee's on the game sheet. As Tellstrom tried to reverse back around. Chartrand stepped in front of Oakes. And now the Prowlers have possession. It's Johnson up at the top. Over to Tellstrom. Johnson to the net. Glove down by Gonzalez. And he hangs on for a whistle in the faceoff. And that's the only thing I can think of to be the reason why Garrett Georges would not be eligible to play this game, as he was not returned. I'll try and get some more clarification on this during the intermission. Again, I'll let you know again during the intermission. Hopefully I can find out a little more, do a little investigative work. Lockhart sent that one to the net. That one tipped by Graham, but Gonzalez able to get a piece. Gagnon working on Brockway, just sent a soft backhander in the direction of the middle of the ice. Ends up on the near side boards. Sent back down and around. Lockhart was picking up his glove. Smith able to pick it up first. He's knocked to the ice by Brockway. Brockway unsure where the puck is. And now the Prowlers able to work out with it. Federley has Millette going to the net. Couldn't send it there as McGill Diaz knocked it down. Here's Lockhart. Left it along the boards for Millette. Over to Brockway. Wrists it through. Saved by Gonzalez. Came out of his glove. And ends up behind the goal with Graham right there battling with Wells. Scantleberry trying to pull it towards the front. Spinning in the corner. Scantleberry still on it. Lost his footing. And McGill Diaz goes off the boards and out of the zone. Brockway looking to send it right back in, and he does. Both teams making changes as we approach 2 minutes left to go in period one. McGill Diaz has DC coming right in on him. Tried to send a long pass to the Prowlers' blue line. Couldn't find Tellstrom, though. Nusiainen cleared that one to the boards. And now Tellstrom. And if those two could just not be on the ice together, that would be awesome. Tellstrom and Tellstrom. Both from Sweden, and just an H separating their names. As here comes Parsons. Entering the offensive zone. Finds DC on the other side. And he rose that one just a bit too tall. It's chipped past Scantleberry. Out come the Rockers. Kuhn trying to return pass across. Home fans want a penalty they won't get. Meanwhile, it's Buys slipping it past Tellstrom. And now Tellstrom picks it up. Tellstrom makes a move to his backhand. Shot blocked. Buys swung and missed at it. Bussell couldn't work out. And now Parsons finally gains control. And he tosses it out of the zone. That one will die short of the icing line as we hit the final minute. Some chaos in the Prowlers, and Rotundi overskated. Scantleberry scores! Ryan Rotundi, 2 feet in front of his own crease, left the puck behind, and Tucker Scantleberry cashes in to make it 2-1 Prowlers. And if there's one place on the ice you don't want to lose the puck, it's right there. And Ryan Rotundi did just that. Scantleberry puts home his team high 12th of the year and extends his point streak to 5. And the Prowlers with the lead now in the final minute of period one. Rockers offsides at the Prowler line as Sneath tried to play it. 47 seconds exactly left to go. And a period that's been mostly dominated by the Prowlers with plenty of power play time to help that out. They did give up the shorthanded goal, but they've scored the last 2 and now have the lead. Here's Chartrand looking for more. Shot blocked by Colton up in the air and out of play over the glass. Well, stick around for the first intermission report, the Moses Roses smoke break here on the PHP Network. we'll look back at the best games of the year for the Prowlers in chronological order. Just a little bit of a quick recap of 2024. And then we'll look at some storylines from around the league. And the out-of-town scoreboard, of course, it's all coming up on the first intermission report. Moses Rose's smoke break. Gonzalez was able to cover up that rebound, but he had some Prowlers right there in his grill. Some company there in the crease for Gonzalez, as the Prowlers have done a lot tonight. Everybody separated, and Port Huron sends out the Matt Graham line for this face-off. Sneath and Graham for this face-off. 34.2 left to go in the period. Tied up in Graham's skates. Johnson able to step in front of the clearing pass. And that time he tried to glove it down. Didn't work, as he just got a piece of it. And now they call offsides against the Rockers again. Sneath upset about it. I think he launched the puck out of play, and TJ Sneath is going to get a penalty. Sneath, out of frustration on the second offsides against him in particular in this shift, launched the puck. I don't know if it went out of play or not, but he shot the puck, and the referees didn't like it. So Port Huron to its fourth man advantage of this opening period. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Sneath with 22.8 seconds left to go in the frame. And this unit, led by Matt Graham, had a late power play goal last Saturday against Athens. We'll see if they can do it again, as Bussell, who scored it, had to float it down low. McGill Diaz had that one pop up in the air. Smith trying to work out with it. And now Bussell forced back into his own end, trying to turn away from Smith. And this power play will leak over into the second. Minute 38 left to go on the man advantage for the Prowlers, which we'll have when we come back for the start of period 2. But after giving up the first goal of the game, Port Huron stormed back with the last two. And they hold the 2-1 lead heading into the first intermission. Shots on goal favoring the Prowlers by a total of 20-7. Tied for the most shots on goal they've had in a first period all season. They're off to a hot start. And again, they head into the locker room with a 2-1 lead. Again, coming up in the Moses Rose's smoke break, first intermission report, the best games of 2024 for the Port Huron Prowlers. We hope your favorite game made the list, but if it did not, feel free to yell at me in the comments section. Also take a look at some storylines from around the league, out-of-town scores, and more, all coming up here on the PHP Network. So stick around for the first intermission report. Well, the Prowlers are celebrating 10 years in Port Huron, and now is your chance to get some limited edition 10th anniversary gear at the Prowlers team store. Located on the west end of McMorran Arena, at every home game or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your POHO best with gear from the Prowlers team store. It's 2-1 Port Huron through 20 minutes tonight, and we will be right back with the best games of 2024 for the Prowlers here on the PHP Network.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
Seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Final seconds ticking off the Prowlers power play. It's muscled out by Graham. Sends it down low. In front, Schumacher scores! Federley and Freeborn going up against Lord Leeson and Dabari. Freeborn had a step, couldn't handle the pass clean, and it slips by and in! Fans want a penalty, they won't get one, but they will see Matt Graham on a breakaway. Winds and fires, knocked down by Murray. Now Federley on the rebound, down to Graham, backdoor play, they jam and score! Matt Graham has won it in overtime, and the Prowlers exercise their demons in Danbury. Deflected up in the air, still bouncing around, still unable to work it out. Schumacher puts it back in front, his direction. Here comes Scantleberry, he scores! watched by Connor Foley, and now stepping out. Up towards McDonald, cut off by Freeborn, gives to Scantleberry, shoots, stopped by Colgan, they score! It leaked through, and Liam Freeborn puts it home on the doorstep. The Prowlers are back in front with 1:38 to go. Plays it up the boards, right into Dalton J. To the line, Loubert. Rashadi scores! Dom Loubert opens the scoring for real. Prowlers up 1-0. Foley tried to reverse it out in front and couldn't do it. DeCumbus with some spacey shoots. Score! That hits Shorttrand right in front. And early on in period 3, the Prowlers restore the 2-goal lead. Chance of Austin for the Prowlers captain. He works in slowly to that right side again. Federley. Back to the forehand. He scores! The Prowlers win it in the shootout. 3-2 your final. Now Johnson for Federley. On to Lucas Lockney. Drop pass, trailer is James. Across, shot, score! Ludwig Delstrom has tied it. He won the first shootout of the year for the Prowlers. Can he win the second? All the way to the right wing wall. Federley in, scores! Prowlers win! Lockhart back pass, Delstrom broke his stick, comes to Scantleberry, he scores! A hat trick for Tucker Scantleberry, and he puts the Prowlers up 4-2. Reggie Millette on the right wing, works in, fakes, forehand, he scores! That was silky. Here's Johnson swinging out to the left wing. He fires, he scores! And the Prowlers win it in the shootout!
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Welcome back here to Big Boy Arena. 2-1 Prowlers through 20 minutes of play. And they'll have some power play time, minute 38 to be specific, to start period number 2. And I've gotten some clarification on the Soterios Karageorgis thing, and I was right. That situation, I guessed right. Karageorgis was supposed to be taken off of suspension by the league. He was not, so he was not on the game sheet. Port Huron complained that he wasn't on the game sheet but on the ice, which is a valid complaint. So they sent him off, but from what I've been told, Karageorgis will be allowed to come back out for the second as they printed out a new game sheet because he is supposed to be able to play. But again, the league never took him off suspension today. A little bit of a mess, but they're working through it down there. We're working through it up here. And we thank you so much for joining us on this New Year's Eve, the first game of the day in the FPHL, still about an hour away from the next game that's starting. We'll show you all the games that will be going on in the league today. But first, let's take a look at some storylines from around the league from this week. We start with a big trade as the Columbus River Dragons sent Jordan Popoff to the Danbury Hat-Tricks in exchange for cash considerations, as the Hat-Tricks also released Dustin Henning and Connor Mullins, a pair of defensemen, today. So the Hat-Tricks upgrading their blue line and grabbing Popoff from Columbus. Justin Gessot, stop me if you've heard this one before, has been suspended multiple games for abuse of officials. He gets 3 games this time. He's got an abuse of officials game misconduct against the Watertown Wolves on Saturday. And the Dashers, who are the worst team in the FPHL in the standings by points, have now lost 3 of their better players in Jordan Gagnon, Brandon Stoyshevsky, and Nick Gullo, who were all placed inactive today. So tough news for a team that has had a tough go to begin this season. Well, 4 other games scheduled in the FPHL here tonight. And again, the next one starting at 5 o'clock in Binghamton. Black Bears taking on HC Venom. 7:05 start in Athens. Lobsters hosting the Mississippi Seawolves. 7:35 Eastern Time start. 6:35 Central in Monroe. Moccasins and the Baton Rouge Zydeco as the Louisiana rivalry plays on this New Year's Eve. And then 8:35 Eastern, the late game in Winston-Salem, Carolina, and Blue Ridge on this New Year's Eve slate. Prowlers with a 2-1 lead on the Rockers through 20 minutes of play. And they outshot the Rockers significantly, 20-7 in that opening period. Port Huron 0 for 3 on the man advantage. But again, they'll have a minute and 38 seconds of power play time to work with when period 2 begins. But the only goal for the Rockers came on a Prowlers power play as Avery Smith scored shorthanded, but the Prowlers did respond later in the period. Ludwig Thelstrom and Tucker Scantleberry. Scantleberry's goal coming with under a minute left in that opening period. As both teams hit the ice, it's time for the New Year's Eve edition of the PHP Network Trivia Question. And of course, this is the 3rd straight year the Prowlers have faced the Motor City Rockers at Big Boy Arena on New Year's Eve. But we want to know who they faced in their first ever New Year's Eve game in franchise history. They played one in their inaugural season, so there's your only hint. But put your guess in the comments section, and we will give you the correct answer coming up at the start of period number 3. Ricky Gonzalez getting set in the goal crease to our left. He was busy in that opening 20, 18 saves on 20 Prowlers shots. After, again, Port Huron got 20 shots in the first 20 minutes after only 22 shots in the entirety of their 2 games against the Athens Rock Lobsters. Only 20 shots in the entirety of regulation against the Rock Lobsters last game on Saturday. Well, Terry Nusiainen in the goal crease to our right, less busy, and he stopped 6 of 7 Rockers shots. Once again, if you're just returning to your television screens or your computer screens, or just opening the game back up, minute 38 of power play time for the Prowlers, as TJ Sneath still sits for his unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, as we're underway in the Hungry Howie's second period. Austin Federley starts his way out, and he gives to Bussell, chased by Smith, who scored the shorthanded goal for the Rockers in the first. Bussell leaves it for Graham, but his back pass was cut off by Kuhn, and then Kuhn overskated the puck, so Bussell takes back possession. Federley working on the fresh sheet, starts his way up the left wing side, gets into the offensive zone, but offsides, or no interference, pardon me. It was not an offsides against the Prowlers. Tristan Sim is going to head to the penalty box and negate the rest of this Prowlers power play. Interference the call as he just got in the way of a Rockers defenseman trying to get over to Federley. So we'll have 4-on-4 for the next minute 1, and then 59 seconds of Rockers power play time. Prowlers end this man advantage without a shot on goal in, again, just 59 seconds of power play time. A little 4-on-4 action. Millette and Gagnon set for this face-off. Gagnon wins it back clean, and Colton quickly goes to the net. Glove saved by Nusiainen. Rockers have not had a power play yet in this game. Prowlers just cut short their 4th of the night. Millette this time able to win the face-off back. Felstrom starts up and he gives back to Johnson. Right back to Felstrom on the left wing side. Puck escaped him though. Wells tried to drop it back for Gagnon. He overskated it. And now Scantleberry works on the left wing. His shot, kick save by Gonzalez. And Scantleberry recollects behind the net off the pass from Millette. Tried to hand off for Felstrom. Felstrom chasing after it, gets back to it in the neutral zone, and Johnson curls in his own end. Up towards Scantleberry off his stick though. Colton looking to move up, and he goes back to Oakes this time. Floats it on for Matthias Tellstrom. Now Colton on it again. Tosses it in on Nusiainen. He clamps the glove on top for a whistle and a face-off with 3 seconds left in 4-on-4 until Sneak steps out of the box to make it a Motor City power play.
Refreshment, real liquor. Try one today. Available at Slapshots Bar, located by sections 4 and 5.
Prowlers have their PK out there for this face-off. Rockers with most of a power play. Joel Frazee is going to be able to kill some time on this Rockers man advantage. And he scores! What a shot! Joel Frazee, short-handed, has given the Prowlers a 2-goal lead. As Frazee flew down the left wing side, and the special teams specialist has his 6th goal of the year, 5th as a Prowler, and all 5 with Port Huron have come on special teams. His first 4 were on the power play. And what a rip by Frazee over the blocker side, short side on Gonzalez. And each team now has a short-handed goal in this game. 45 seconds on this Rockers power play. Worked back to Oaks, and he gets the red line. Oaks over the Prowlers blue, driving to the net. Nusiainen put the goal stick down to stop it from getting into the blue paint, and then Oaks and Lockhart went to the Zamboni doors hard together. Brockway separating Oaks from Lockhart, along with the linesman. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Tristan Sim. So Port Huron will get the face-off to Nusiainen's right. Sneath and Federley on this draw. Tied up. Rivers pulls it out, slips it to the point. Colton sends it back down and around. Parsons tried to one-hand it along. Ends up on Sneath's tape. Sneath and Rivers play catch. Rivers back down to Sneath, trying to pull it between his legs. And Nusiainen was right there to seal the post. Oaks to the net. That one goes off the back wall and wide. Oaks once again. Back on. Steered away by Nusiainen. Colton tried to make a pass back over to Oaks. He was off for a change. And now Frazie's on a break. Takes the shot, and this time Gonzalez able to make the save. Frazee in the corner. Couldn't center for Sim. It's batted around. And Johnson plays it right back down the wall to Frazee. Turns the corner up high. Tried to send it down low. Cut off by Colton. And then Frazee bangs that one off the top of the glass and in. Rotundi rims it up the boards. Thelstrom skates into it. He walks in, trying to make a pass across to Bussell. I think Rotundi got a stick on it. Back the other way come the Rockers. It's Smith driving on Brockway all the way around the net, and Brockway finishes his check behind the cage. Now the Prowlers work out. Bussell with DC. Brockway hustling to join them. Sent over towards DC, and that just hopped over his stick. And here come the Rockers again the other way. It's Wells. Scantleberry tried to put the hip into it. Wells slipped by. Centering feed was blocked. And now the Prowlers. Thelstrom just slows things down a little bit before he starts a rush of his own. He gets the Rockers blue line. Puck in deep. Thelstrom knocked down in the corner. And things slowing down just a little bit. Johnson rips it over to Federley. Tried to put it on goal. Blocked by Gagnon. And he gets it out of the zone. Johnson a quick up. Put it right on Delaney's tape. But Delaney's pass didn't find his teammate's tape. And that will be an icing against Motor City. And we do see Soterios Karageorgis back out there again. As I talked about in the intermission and during the first period, Karageorgis was sent off because his name was not on the game sheet, but he is eligible to play. The league did not take him off of suspension today, so he wasn't on the game sheet. Prowlers complained. That's a valid complaint. They sent him off, printed out a new game sheet during the intermission, and now Karageorgis allowed to finish the game. Millette took a hit from Milam. Rockers starting a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Karageorgis sends it on, and Nusiainen gobbles that one up for a whistle and a face-off. They really do keep you on your toes in this league. Never know what's going to happen next. Sim and Karageorgis, the two number 15s, will be in on this face-off. Sim wins it back. Johnson, quick up to Chartrand. Up the left wing side, gets the red line, rims it around, heads after it himself. He and Delaney get there together. Chartrand stood up by Milam. Stiles caused a turnover right at the top of the crease, and Gonzalez had to be sharp. Lockhart able to get it back to Johnson, quickly finds Chartrand. Tossed in, Sim after it in the corner, pokes it around towards Stiles. Head up behind the net, floats it out high. Quick shot by Lockhart was blocked on the way through. Tied up on the near side half wall. They still battle for it. And finally slips to the middle of the ice. Thelstrom along the blue line. Tried to hand off for Parsons. Wasn't a clean exchange. Thelstrom up for Shertrand. Soft chip in. Millette first on it. Working on Delaney. Millette centering feed. Shertrand punched away by Gonzalez. Now Thelstrom with some stick handles in the corner. Thelstrom comes out with it. Goes up high to Parsons. Rister partially blocked, and it just skittered wide. Back in front, and Graham batted at it, but just pushed it past the net. Parsons back on net. That was blocked. Millette able to sweep it down low. Graham continues the cycle. Leaves it for Millette. Tried to dangle around Thelstrom. Millette, Brockway a drive. And a glove saved by Ricky Gonzalez as the Prowlers getting all kinds of pressure. Port Huron up 3-1. It's Joel Frazee shorthanded and make it a 2-goal lead here at Big Boy Arena.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Live where you work. Work where you play. Is your work commute making you miserable? Quit the commute. Explore hot jobs in St. Clair County paying $40,000 to $100,000 or more. Visit stclairhotjobs.com. Spend more time doing what you love. If you're not currently living in St. Clair County, or you know friends or family that moved away but are ready to come back, then visit stclairhotjobs.com to find a new job and make the move.
Back here at Big Boy Arena, they're set to go for an offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers. After a great shift, lots of cycling down deep, Ricky Gonzalez was able to stop play and get his team a break. Here's a quick shot deflected wide as Lockhart sent it on, hit something on the way through. DC tried to feed out for Scantleberry, wasn't in the wheelhouse rim to pull the trigger on the one-timer. And Motor City able to work up ice. Here's Thelstrom. Gave it to Rivers. His shot, he scores! Eli Rivers goes top corner. They'll pull Motor City back within one. And the Rockers leader in goals, assists, and points. 12th goal of the year, team high. And team high 24th point of the year. It's a quick shot right down Main Street. And Eli Rivers with a big one. Making a one-goal game again. Prowlers still in front. Sneak trying to change that. As Rivers floats this one in. Parsons able to quickly send it to the wall and out of the zone. Miguel Diaz didn't get all he wanted on that dump. Forced to play it back in his own end. Off the wall, Rotundi goes in turn off the wall. Knocked down by a high stick of Shertrand. So they'll whistle that one down as Thelstrom and Rotundi pick up the assist. For Rotundi, his third helper of the year in game number 13. Both of his 2 assists coming into tonight came all the way back on November the 9th against the Monroe Moccasins. That was the weekend that Trevor Babin got hurt. And that's the reason why Trevor Babin has not played a game against the Prowlers this season. Another reason is because he's currently inactive. Shertrand couldn't slide it along. Smith to Wells, chips it around Parsons. Wells and Brockway come together as Brockway slips it up the wall in Paris's direction. McGill Diaz back down the boards. Wells put it out in front, and now the centering pass hops over Smith's stick. McGill Diaz having some trouble with Paris, and Paris able to out-muscle him and get the puck deep. Rotundi all the way around the glass towards Gagnon. He popped it out to the middle of the ice, slipped past Delstrom. Miguel Diaz on the back door, saved by Wells. On Wells by Nusiainen as he got his pad down, and now it all breaks loose behind the net. Paris and Wells maybe dropping the mitts. One of Paris's gloves is down, neither of Wells is. Meanwhile, Graham and a Rocker are tangled up. Something going on the ground. They're pointing at Wells and Paris both. So it looks like those two will end up in the penalty boxes. And Paris and Wells still chatting as they head over to the sin bins. We'll see if they might drop the mitts later on in this game. It was Miguel Diaz that Matt Graham was tangled up with. Looks like Graham heading over to the box as well. And Miguel Diaz will join Wells in his penalty box. Actually, Wells is leaving the box.
Hey fans, that might just give you a chance to win one free service from Mosquito Joe. Be sure to head to the merch table above section 7 and enter your name.
So Wells has been asked to leave the penalty box. And it looks like he's going back to his bench, so this may become a Rockers power play, as they only take Paris from that scrum. And of course they take both Graham and Miguel Diaz from the one in the corner. Austin Federley and Josh Colton getting the word from the referees. And indeed, they put Paris's 2 minutes up on the board, so the Rockers will get their second power play of the night, their first full man advantage, with a chance to tie this game. As I talked about when the Prowlers got their first power play, Rockers special teams, which has been a key to their success the last couple of years, looking a little bit better these past couple weeks. They're 3 for 7 last weekend against the Dashers here at Big Boy Arena, up to 6th in the league at 21.9%. This is a power play that was bottom 5 in the league not too long ago. The Prowlers will have to send out the True Balance penalty kill to try and keep themselves in the lead. Well, they do have a shorthanded goal in this game. Joel Frazee, see him there, number 23 in white, the one who scored it. This faceoff will come outside the zone because the defenseman for the Rockers got involved in that fray. So now we're all set to go. It looks like Federley and Sneath for this faceoff. Rockers have Cody Oakes split out wide on the near side boards. Federley able to win the faceoff back, and Brockway clears it all the way down, right past Oakes. Colton watched by Federley. We'll give you the penalties, of course, as soon as they come down on my sheet. Here's a move by Rivers. Couldn't pick it up on the other side, though, as Brockway got there first. Sneath holding in the corner, looking for an option. Slips it to Rivers, taken in by Brockway. Federley comes in to cut off a pass, and then Oakes kicked it right to Frazee. Here he comes short-handed again. Frazee, couple of nice moves. He got to the other side, and a save made by Gonzalez as Frazee got in all the way around Colton. Here's Rivers, back to Telstra on the one-timer. Hit the post, and then poked out of the zone by Bussell, knocking it away from Oakes. Both teams with a good chance on this Rockers power play that has about a minute left in it. Oakes couldn't step past Johnson as Johnson took the puck from him, and Alex Johnson dumps it all the way down. 9 minutes gone in the Hungry Howie's second period, as both Paris and Graham got 2 for roughing and Miguel Diaz 2 for slashing. Chartrand with a steal in the offensive end. He curls back, trying to waste some time. Gives it to Johnson, outside try. And that ends up in the protective netting over the glass, out of play. Rockers a little bit sloppy in their own end there, and Daniel Chartrand almost gave the Prowlers a good opportunity to take advantage as Johnson's shot from the outside, trying to pick that top corner on the short side to Gonzalez's blocker. The same way Frazee did earlier on in this period. Milam floats it out to Rotundi. Rink wide feed finds Smith. Poked off his stick by Johnson. He gets it back and he slipped it right through the top of the crease. Milam back down deep. Finds Smith in the corner. Worked back up high to Milam. Now Rotundi. Milam, one-timer off of Styles' stick as he got in the shooting lane. Parsons holds up Smith against the wall and pops out to Styles. Prowlers back to full strength. Styles skating up, has Parrish waiting at the Motor City blue line. Parrish's shot over top of the cage. Skettleberry down to Styles, trying to spin away from Wells. Styles finds it, but he ran into Smith. Wells goes off the glass and out of play actually. Tried to go off the glass out of the zone. And the referees will talk about it. We'll see if the Prowlers are getting a power play here when we come back, but they kill off the Rockers' man advantage, and it's still 3-2.
See that? That's what 100% mozzarella looks like. What dough made daily looks like. What fresh ingredients and 8 irresistible flavored crusts on pizza cooked to perfection looks like. It's so much flavor, we don't even know if it's legal to have this much flavor. Now you can get that famous flavor for only $8.99. Wait, a large one-topping pizza for $8.99? That's a deal. It's a steal. No, it's a crime. Just $8.99 for a one-topping pizza full of our famous flavor. Now that's how we do a deal.
Hungry?
Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Back here at Big Boy Arena, Prowlers to the power play as Tristan Wells sits in the box. 2 minutes for delay of game. That will be the second delay of game penalty against the Rockers in this hockey game. Adam Kuhn took a delay of game penalty all the way back in the opening period. Port Huron with a chance to extend the lead 0 for 4 right now on the man advantage as Frazee has his unit out there to start. And it looks like Frazee will be asked to leave the face-off. Tucker Scantleberry in to take it instead. Now actually, it will be Chartrand who takes the face-off. Puck is down and Chartrand wins it back. Prowlers set up. Scantleberry tried to back pass it to Millette. That was taken away. Here comes Nick McGill-Diaz. He shoots. Saved by Nusiainen. And sent in front, and Lockhart had to poke it away from Sneath, who was all by himself on the back door. A dicey start to this power play for Port Huron. Here comes Millette with a quick shot, punched away by Gonzalez. And now Scantleberry turns in the corner. Up high goes to Lockhart. Now Millette. Back to Lockhart. Scantleberry unloads. He scores! Second of the game for Tucker Scantleberry. This one's a power play marker, and the Prowlers restore the 2-goal lead. Another power play goal for Tucker Scantleberry. As that one was just right along the ice. Not sure if Gonzalez saw it. He had Chartrand right in front. And Port Huron has a man advantage goal for the third straight game. (4-2) Prowlers, under 9 to play here in the second period as Brett Lockhart and Reggie Millette pick up the assists on the goal by Scantlebury. Colton not quick enough to that puck, say the referees, so icing was waved off. Here's Oakes turning on Stiles. And now Colton. Back over to Oakes. Turning with it is Kara Georges. Trying to make a backhand pass up ice. They say it was touched by a stick, so no icing on this side. Johnson to Stiles. Has Chartrand fed it there, and Chartrand tips it in. Oakes turns the corner and flies up ice. Cody Oakes trying to make a move to the middle, knocked off his stick by Brockway. Stiles behind his own net, starts out to the right. Tosses a backhander to Graham, and he hands off for Federley. Outside try, steered away by Gonzalez. Millette, fresh off the bench, jumped up to keep that puck deep, at least momentarily. But now out comes Rotundi. Smith, head up, goes to the net, and an easy save for Valtteri Nusiainen. Well, Prowlers 1 for 5 on the man advantage tonight. And they've scored a power play goal in 3 straight games. So off this face-off, Brockway taps it around to Lockhart. On for Millette. Reggie Millette enters the offensive zone, takes the shot, and Gonzalez just got a piece of it with the knob of his stick. Comes to the middle, Rotundi. Tried to send it out. It comes to Wells. His shot missed wide. Karam's all the way towards Millette. He shovels it over to the near side. Federley touches out for Graham. And then Graham fans on the pass. Ended up giving it to Rotundi, bounces it off the boards, right to Lockhart. Rotundi trying again. This time he gives to Gagnon before he's run over by Millette. Here's Federley off the turnover. His shot snagged by the catching glove of Ricky Gonzalez. A face-off deep in Rockers territory after the giveaway at the red line, right at the Rockers logo. Prowlers came in and Austin Federley got a good chance there. Was Federley trying to get himself back on the scoreboard. Been a little while since he's been able to score a goal. He was at one point tied for the team lead with 8, but Scantlebury has since taken over that lead. He's up to 13 now this year with his 2 goals tonight. And we'll see which Rocker will take this face off. Finally, it's Matthias Tellstrom who comes in to face Bussell. Scantlebury a shot. That one partially blocked on the way through. Scantlebury the only Prowler with a hat trick this season. He did it in Binghamton in a 5-3 win. There's Delaney to the net. That one popped back out in front, and Nusiainen able to kick it away from Rivers. That took a funny hop. Here's DC, couldn't dangle around Tellstrom. Now back to McGill Diaz. Off the wall, couldn't get it to Sneath. And back comes Scantlebury to Bussell. DC swung at it and couldn't put it on goal. Sneath had it knocked off his tape by Parsons. Rivers follows up. Put it right into Tellstrom's skates though. Tellstrom with his team in the midst of a change. Dumps it all the way around. Nusiainen leaves it for Tellstrom. Quickly up towards Chartrand and Buys, who were together right by the Prowler blue line. Skated back in by Kara Georges. Puts the shoulder down. Goes around the net. Stood up by Tellstrom in the corner. Net is off its moorings. Play continuing. Stiles working in with Chartrand. They fix the net down at Nusiainen's end. Meanwhile, it's Johnson going D-to-D to Lockhart back in the neutral zone. Johnson up to Stiles, has Frazee cutting to the net, goes to Chartrand. His shot blocked by Oakes and off the back of the cage. Launched out. Colton with Buys. Drops it to him. Buys slips it down the boards. Right to Lockhart. Tried to send Graham out. It's taken back by Motor City. Colton. Outside try. Punched away by Nusiainen. Wells in front. Poked at by Nusiainen. And the Prowlers rescue it. Johnson up to Millette. One-on-one against Oakes. Oakes ran into the linesman. Millette all alone, and he tossed it over top of the cage. Kara Georges the other direction. Rims this one all the way around. Delayed offsides against the Rockers, though. Gagnon goes all the way across the ice. This one deflected in. Johnson has Gagnon hustling onto him. Graham slipped it in Millette's direction. Back comes Smith. Gagnon couldn't pull it to his forehead. Comes just out of the zone. Lockhart blocked the dump in anyway. And Lockhart weaves. He finds Graham. Port Huron in the midst of a change, so it's batted back out to center. Johnson walking the red line. Gives to Brockway. Fires this one, cross corner dump. Scantleberry the first one on it. Scantleberry pulls up. Looking for help. Floats it across. One-timer by Bussell. Blocked by Milam. And then sent right back through the crease by DC at the side of the post. Scantleberry. All the way around the world. Tries the wrap. And it just slipped right through the crease along the goal line. Brockway back up towards Scantleberry, who tips it in. Bussell beats Rotundi to the puck. Trying to turn away. Bounced up high to Brockway. Back to Bussell. Across. Shot down deep, deflected by Scantleberry as Parsons found his stick on the shot pass. And Gonzalez forced to make a save. Bussell just does keep that one in at the line. DC. Head up his team in the midst of a change. Left it on the half wall. Prowlers able to keep it in. Here's Shertrand all the way around behind the net. Hands off for Thelstrom. Down towards Sim. That was blocked partially. Prowlers still in possession. Thelstrom to Sim. Couldn't dance around Smith. And then it's cleared off the glass and down. We'll see if... And icing waved off. So Motor City catches a break and gets a change. Thelstrom looking to work right back up. Gets it to Sim. Turning away from Rivers. This one will be icing against the Prowlers as Sharktran couldn't get a touch on it. So we're going to face off all the way back down in Port Huron territory. Tucker Scantleberry power play goal has put the Prowlers back ahead by 2.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
Back here in Fraser, 2-goal lead for the Prowlers, late stages of the second period. Another good shift in the offensive zone for Port Huron just a few minutes ago, cycling the puck around, unable to get a goal out of it, but create a tired group of Rockers in the process. Here's Sneath with his shoulder down, couldn't get to the front. Thelstrom battling for it. It's taken by Thelstrom. Again, two different people, Ludwig Thelstrom and Matthias Thelstrom. There's Stiles from the outside. Snatched by Gonzalez. Of course, Kenny Stiles, a completely different person entirely. Thelstrom hails from Linköping, Sweden. Thelstrom from Stockholm, Sweden. And again, just that H separating their names. Thelstrom does have a goal tonight for the Prowlers. Here is Tellstrom along the boards. Long toss out, and Brett Lockhart settles it down. Trying to get to Graham, he missed on the deflection. So we'll get another face-off deep in the Prowlers zone. And they'll put the draw to Nusiainen's left as TJ Sneath's line still out there. Matthias Tellstrom lined up right behind Sneath on this face-off. And now they ask Graham to leave the face-off. They say that Federley might have been too close, and now Graham gets to come back after consultation with the referee. Miguel Diaz puts this one deep. And Federley reaches out for it. 3 Rockers back. Federley sidestepped most of a check from Tellstrom. Back in comes Rivers, but he handed it right to Matt Graham. Lockhart tried to bounce it around to Graham. Brockway able to get it to him, and he fires it up to Reggie Millette. Flying up the right wing side. Millette a shot in and out of the glove of Gonzalez. Graham finds the loose puck in the offensive zone. Tried to get it to Lockhart, who is sneaking in from his defensive position, but out of his reach went the puck. Lockhart at the red line. Starts up. Gives it to Millette. Fired it off the near side corner boards. Scantleberry tied up with a rocker. And now it's turned up to Buys, who has lots of skating room. Parsons hustling to cut him off. And Parsons takes the puck right off his stick. Bussell skates into the loose puck and dumps it down in. Gonzalez scooped it up, and he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Stick around for the Moses Roses smoke break. Second intermission report here on the PHP Network. We'll chat about this game so far, everything that's gone on. Also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule. Out-of-town scores. Maybe a game has started by the time we get to that. But all that coming up on the PHP Network intermission report. Parsons with 35 left in the period. Up to DC. Try to send Johnson in. Johnson had to smack this one around. Buys taken in by Scantleberry. Kara Georges reaching out for it. Poked off his stick before he entered the Prowlers zone. And it's dumped behind the net. Off the corner boards, Johnson. Now to Parsons. Overskated it. Back to Johnson. Looking for an outlet. Gets it to Bussell. Diving play. Couldn't get it deep though. Parsons with 4. Got it up to DC. Couldn't settle down the loose puck enough as it was bouncing on him. And that will end this period. Prowlers with 2, Rockers with 1. Same as the first, but now it's a 4-2 lead for the visitors. Shots on goal in that frame. A little bit closer, 15-13 for Port Huron. And the Prowlers with a 35-20 lead in that category through 40 minutes of play. No penalties will carry over this time. And we'll start the third 5-on-5. Once again, coming up in the Moses Roses smoke break. Second intermission report. We'll take a look at everything that's gone on in this game so far. A couple of goals for Tucker Scantleberry. Certainly a top thing on the list of things to talk about. We'll also look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule. Check around the rest of the FPHL slate today. Game stats, of course, and all of that fun stuff, all the usuals here on the PHP Network for this second intermission. Once again, it is a 2-goal lead for the Prowlers. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game on Friday, January 3rd, when they take on the FPHL leading Binghamton Black Bears, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or by scanning the QR code on your screen now. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan the QR code on your screen now to be a part of the Prowlers' 10th anniversary season. And of course, the next night following January 3rd's game, talking January 4th, that is Saturday, the Prowlers will be taking on the Black Bears again, and it will be law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics night. So all proceeds benefit the Special Olympics of Michigan, and the Prowlers will be wearing specialty New Year's Eve themed jerseys. For that one, you can bid on the jersey off the back of your favorite players. So get your tickets for Friday and Saturday night. Once again, phprowlers.com/tickets. We'll take a quick break here on the BHP Network, and when we come back, we'll talk about this game so far, so stick around.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites, made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Back here at Big Boy Arena, Prowlers with a 4-2 lead through 40 minutes of play here on New Year's Eve. I hope everybody is enjoying their last few hours of 2024, and we'll be bringing in 2025, and by we I mean me and the Prowlers over at the Brass Rail back in Port Huron. We'll be heading up there just as soon as this one ends, so head to the Brass Rail across the street from McMorran Place party officially starts at 9 p.m., but we'll be there certainly earlier than that. There'll be drink specials all night, so we hope to see you there. All of Port Huron, not just Prowlers fans. It's whoever you are, if you're in the Port Huron area, come hang out with us and ring in the new year at the Brass Rail. Prowlers hoping to end 2024 on a high note. They're off to a good start here, dominating the Rockers, outshooting them 35-20 at this point. And they have the 4-2 lead. Of course, a 2-goal lead, not necessarily safe, not just in this rivalry, but for the Prowlers at times this season. They gave up the 3-1 lead to the Athens Rock Lobsters last Saturday before eventually falling in overtime. But looks like this game is different because Athens was winning the shots battle in that game on Saturday, as they were outshooting the Prowlers. They were outplaying them at times. This game has looked a little bit different. It has looked better for the Prowlers as they have, again, dominated the Rockers. They have had shifts where they've spent 45 seconds to a minute cycling and getting opportunities in the offensive zone. They haven't really scored on those opportunities, but that's creating pressure. It's creating tired legs for the Motor City Rockers, and it's certainly a positive for the Prowlers to see them being able to get into the offensive zone and cycle. Well, Motor City has been able to score a couple of goals, though. The Prowlers, again, have largely dominated this hockey game, sent a lot of rubber Ricky Gonzalez's way, which is something he's used to seeing. He gets a lot of shots from opponents behind this Motor City defense, but he's been pretty strong tonight. Made a lot of the saves that he's had to make, although that shot from Joel Frazee and the one from Tucker Scantleberry in that second period, ones he might want to have back, as they say. But Scantleberry's was right along the ice. That was the second goal in this game that I thought Gonzalez might have been screened on. The first one was Thelstrom's shot in that first period. Just the reaction from Gonzalez after Thelstrom's goal in the first is what made me think that he didn't see that puck off a screen. And then Daniel Chartrand was in front of the net on that power play, and Scantleberry's shot just came right along the ice. And it didn't seem like Gonzalez picked it up until the last moment. And at that point, it was too late. So the Prowlers doing a great job of getting bodies in front of Gonzalez, not letting him see the puck. And a goaltender in Gonzalez, who's had a strong year, able to handle a lot of saves in a game all season long. Stolen a few, certainly, for the Rockers this year. Keeping him from seeing the puck. Great work by the Prowlers to do that. When you take a look at the stats from this game so far, the Prowlers 1 for 5 on the man advantage. Rockers 0 for 2. And not too many penalty minutes for either side, but plenty of power plays for Port Huron. They've had some great opportunities and certainly thrown a lot of shots on net during the man advantages, but just the one power play goal, and it came from Tucker Scantleberry in that second period. That's what made it a 4-2 game. But the Prowlers have done a good job responding after the Rockers have scored, as after Avery Smith opened the scoring in this game. Ludwig Thelstrom scored 49 seconds later, and then Scantleberry scored his goal just over 4 minutes after Eli Rivers made it a 1-goal game. The Prowlers responding certainly to any Rockers goals in this hockey game, and they hold a 4-2 lead through 2 periods, trying to hang on to that lead into the third and send their fans into New Year's happy. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scores, or should I say just the rest of the slate around the FPHL tonight, and the Prowlers' upcoming schedule coming your way as well. So stick around here on the PHP Network.
welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Welcome back here to Big Boy Arena, just minutes away from period number 3. And the Prowlers holding the 2-goal lead. Will Wiggleman here on the PHP Network. Before we continue on talking about this game, let's take a look at what's next for the Prowlers as they are back home to start January, a luxury they've not had the past couple of years, as they will face the Binghamton Black Bears on January 3rd and 4th at McMorran Place, both of those 7:05 p.m. puck drops. And as I have pushed hard over these past couple of weeks, that Saturday game is the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics game, and the Prowlers will be wearing specialty New Year's Eve themed jerseys for that one. Check the Prowlers social media to find pictures of those jerseys. They look pretty sweet. You'll want to get your hands on them, and the only way to do that is to be there at the game. But after that, Prowlers will take their first visit to Danville in just a few years, since the original Dashers were there. Those will be 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time start, so stay up a little bit late with me here on the PHP Network. The other time the Prowlers will face the Dashers will be in Topeka, Kansas. That will be at the end of January and the start of February. This is Prowlers' only visit to David S. Palmer Arena. Again, they will face off against the new Dashers for the very first time. Well, let's take a look around the FPHL. They have just dropped the puck in Binghamton. No score yet in the first few minutes between the Black Bears and the Venom. It's Connor McAnanima in between the pipes for Binghamton and John Moriarty for HC Venom. About 2 hours from now, getting set to drop the puck in Athens, it's the Lobsters and the Mississippi Seawolves. And then half an hour after that, the Moccasins will host the Baton Rouge Zydeco. And then we get to the final game of the night, 8:35 puck drop in Winston-Salem, as that rivalry comes together on New Year's Eve. The Blue Ridge Bobcats visit the Carolina Thunderbirds. And of course here in the first game of the night, or of the day, this New Year's Eve on the FPHL slate, it is 4-2 in favor of the Port Huron Prowlers. And again, they have dominated this game so far. Each team with a shorthanded goal, which you don't see too often. Prowlers are 2-0 when scoring shorthanded this season, although that's a little bit of a deceptive stat because both of their shorthanded goals coming into this game were empty net goals, and they belong to Tucker Scantleberry and Daniel Chartrand. Joel Frazee, who again has scored his 5th goal as a Prowler. All 5 of them have come in on special teams, 4 on the power play and 1 short-handed. The Prowlers 5-2-1 this season when leading after 2 periods. They're also 4-2-1 when scoring at least 4 goals, which they've done tonight. So we'll see if they can hang on to this lead and head into the new year with a few points and still ahead of the Rockers in the standings. And if they get all 3 points, they'll be able to jump past the Danbury hat tricks for 3rd in the division. And that would be a welcome sight to see the Prowlers back in 3rd place. Teams hitting the ice here for period number 3. Take one last look at our PHP Network trivia question. 3rd straight year the Prowlers are facing the Rockers on New Year's Eve. We want to know who they faced in their first ever New Year's game in franchise history. That was back in the inaugural season, back in 2015. They hosted the Dayton Demolition. Remember the Demolition? Mark Rivera had a hat trick, a 4-point night for him. Ahmed Mahfouz dished out 5 helpers in that game, a 7-5 win at McMorran Place for the Port Huron Prowlers over the Demolition that night. That was New Year's Eve 2015, 9 years ago. And if you were there, well, maybe you remember how great that game was for the Prowlers, at least offensively, as they picked up some points in that one. Well, Terry Nusiainen getting set in the goal crease, 2 hour left. He has stopped 18 of 20 Rocker shots. Ricky Gonzalez in the goal crease, 2 hour right, 31 saves on 35 Prowler shots on net. And as they were to start the game, it's TJ Sneath and Jamie Bussell in the face-off dot to begin period 3. And we're underway in the final 20 minutes of regulation in the calendar year 2024. Delaney, go ahead and slide along for Sneath. Johnson bounces it off the wall. Scantleberry finds DC entering the offensive zone. Trying to make a pass back to Scantleberry. Sneath was the only one there to collect it, and he tosses it out of the zone. Felstrom to Bussell, turning, finding Johnson. Catches up to the puck on the left wing, works his way to the middle of the ice, over to Scantleberry, outside try, hit the side of the net. Scantleberry, of course, with 2 goals tonight. He's on hat trick watch. He's the only Prowler with a hat trick so far this season. Johnson works to the outside. Gonzalez couldn't catch that one cleanly, cleared to the wall by Smith, and then Brockway's drive tipped wide. Sim trying to outrace Gagnon to that puck. He does. Got it over to Brockway. And now Sim lost it. Here's Gagnon. Slide it down low. Saved by Nusiainen as Smith tried to tip it at the side of the net. And now Smith and Brockway tied up. So are Wells and Paris. Let's see if Wells and Paris want to go after they were denied that opportunity earlier. Everybody separated. And face off to Valtteri Nusiainen's left, who had to be sharp to make that save on Avery Smith. Sim will take this face off against Smith. Comes to the boards. Colton walks the line, gives over to Oakes. Wrister through traffic, steered off the glass by Nusiainen. Jump ball, glove down, and slipped just wide by Wells. Pops out for Smith, a drive, and I'm not sure if he just missed the target or if Nusiainen got a piece. Either way, went off the back glass. Rockers still threatening. Parsons collects for Port Huron and slips it up in Paris's direction. Gagnon back for Colton. And now Oakes uses his boots to get out of the zone. Now gets to the Prowlers' end. Here's Oakes all the way around the Port Huron net. Now for Buys. He lost the handle. Frazee looks to turn it up the other direction. Graham works his way in over to Johnson. Shot, kick, save by Gonzalez. And now Millette Spinning in the corner. Thelstrom pinches in to keep it alive along the wall. Graham tied up there. And now Thelstrom has to skate back out for it in the neutral zone and now in his own end. Johnson plays it back over to Thelstrom. Prowlers start their breakout. Austin Federley tosses this one in. And Millette. Back to the point to Thelstrom. Walks the line. Trying to give it back to Millette. But Buys was right on top of him and forced him out of the zone. Quick up in Federley's direction. Milam stepped in front of him. And he rims it around in the Prowlers' ice. Johnson chased by Rivers. Slipped it out to the middle. Graham right there. And now Federley working on Milam. Ends up on DC's tape. DC couldn't dangle around Thelstrom. Snaith spinning away from Bussell. Snaith from a knee, able to dump it in. Brockway knocked it down. And now over to Lockhart. DC works in as Bussell going to the net. Try to give it there off of Bussell's skate. And poked away by Gonzalez. Brockway across to Lockhart. On for Scantleberry. He tipped it along. Milam skates into it. Milam with a couple of moves. Couldn't slip it to Gagnon. And now Lockhart looking for a headman feed to Scantleberry. That was blocked. McGill Diaz walks the blue line and tosses it deep. Gagnon spinning away from Brockway. And out comes Bussell. Prowlers have numbers if they hurry. But the pass wasn't cleanly to Scantleberry. So he wasn't able to enter the offensive zone. So Port Huron making a change. As McGill Diaz looks to work his way out. Sends a pass in Wells' direction. Nusiainen plays it behind his own net. Leaves it there for Parsons. Forced out by Wells. Parsons on the backhand. Up towards Chartrand. Fires it to Stiles. Off his stick into the offensive zone. Stiles around to Sim. Taken away by Colton. Chartrand picks it up on the other side though. Bounces it back this way. And the whistle blows because the net came off behind Gonzalez. So we'll get a whistle and a face-off. I don't think the Rockers will be allowed to change after that. Prowlers elect not to change. We'll have Sim and Smith in on the draw. Chartrand turned it on, net hit Stiles. Stiles plays it down deep, Sim. Works his way up the half wall, cycles for Chartrand. Thelstrom came in from his defensive position. He has the puck now, all the way around that centering feed, and he couldn't link up with Sim. Parsons got it over to Thelstrom. He was harassed, but he was able to work it back off for Parsons. Chartrand tried to tip it in, but icing called against the Prowlers as he was on his own side of center. Port Huron disagrees, and they'll have the entire TV timeout to talk about it. 14:40 left to go in period 3.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here at Big Boy Arena, Prowlers will have a defensive zone face-off with some players who've been out there for a while, but they did get the entire break to rest. It's still the Stiles Chartrand, Parsons, and Thelstrom group, although Tristan Sim looks like he was able to get off before the icing as Matt Graham is on to take the face-off. Sarah Georges wins the puck back. Oakes down the wall. Kuhn takes some bumps from Parsons. Now spinning is Kara Georges, working on Graham. Kara Georges comes back out this side. He stops up along the wall. Kara Georges still with the puck, just gets it deep, and Parsons recollects for the Prowlers. Slips it up in Styles' direction. And icing waved off, so Port Huron able to make a wholesale change. Graham's line mates join him. Reggie Millette knocked down that pass. Graham turns up and he finds Millette. Millette steps around one man, all the way around the cage. Millette gets it to Johnson. Wrist shot to the net, kick save and a beauty by Matthias Tellstrom up top. As you saw on that play, Reggie Millette attracts a lot of attention from the defense. Federley battling with two rockers along the half wall. Bussell comes in to help out. Stuck up there with Rivers and Milam. Lockhart gloves it down to keep it in. Plays it down and around. Bussell held up, but the puck slips in deep. And Milam goes rink wide to Rivers. Drops it off for Colton, gets it right back. Rivers lost the handle, took a hit from Bussell, and back in comes Millette. Down towards Paris, off his stick, and to Gonzalez. He puts the glove on top for a whistle and a face-off. Nice hit there at center by Jamie Bussell. Clean hit, although some of the Rutgers fans didn't think so. Isaiah Paris and Joel Frazee getting an opportunity on this shift. Frazee, who grew up playing here at Big Boy Arena a lot, of course being from nearby Monroe, Michigan. Scoring here tonight, shorthanded. Parsons played that one off the backboard. Sims scoops it up, turns it on goal. Save by Gonzalez. Rebound. They score. And right on cue, it's Frazee with his second. And Isaiah Paris is down in front of the net and slow to his skates. And he gets some help before heading back to the bench. And Paris is hot, wants after Avery Smith. Paris being restrained by Brian Parsons. Frazee will start the high fives down the bench line as he has his second of the game. As the puck pinballed around the blue paint, came right to him at the side of the crease, and he had enough time to hang on and pick his spot. Goes top shelf with Gonzalez right out of position. Lots of discussions that we can hear up here going on between the Prowlers and Rockers benches.
That was a Prowlers goal made by number 23, Joel Frazee, assisted by number 15, Tristan Sim.
Alex Johnson and Tucker Scantleberry having extended conversation with the referees, but we'll continue 5-on-5, and the Prowlers up by 3 now with under 13 minutes to go in regulation as Tristan Sim and Isaiah Paris pick up the assists. Johnson recollects that puck, gives it to Deasy, tapped on for Scantleberry. Steps around one man, Scantleberry to the net, slipped it out in front, came all the way back to Johnson, but he couldn't get to his forehand for a shot. Delstrom settles it down in his own end. Back pass for Bussell, right in front of Nusiainen. Stick handling gets it to Johnson. Scantleberry tips it along. Delaney pushed it back the other way. Avery Smith, drop back for Delaney. That's the middle, and Gagnon just had his stick lifted, trying to take that one-timer. Good back check by Scantleberry. Here's DC, dropping the shoulder. Penalty coming up. Stephen DC is drawing a call. Holding is the signal against Tim Delaney. So the Prowlers just seconds after taking a 3-goal lead. Now we'll get a power play. Avery Smith trying to mix things up and even things up, but the Prowlers not taking the bait. 6th man advantage of the night for Port Huron, 1 for 5 so far. They send out Frazie's unit. It includes, again, both Frazee and Scantlebury, the 2 Prowlers that have 2 goals in this game. And they're the only Prowlers with multiple points, as the assists have been spread around pretty evenly throughout the rest of the lineup. Tim Delaney, 2 minutes for holding, has sent the Prowlers to the power play and off the face-off. Lockhart had some trouble with it. Here comes Sneath working on Millette. Sneath tried to drop the shoulder to the net. Nice poke by Reggie Millette. Millette gives over to Scantlebury. Stops up as he enters the zone. Port Huron setting up the unit as Lockhart goes back to Scantlebury. To Millette. Head up, floats it to Lockhart, works in, across the Chartrand, he scores! Tic-tac-toe on the Prowlers power play, and Daniel Chartrand finishes it off. And the Prowlers fans here at Big Boy Arena, loud tonight. 2nd man advantage goal of the afternoon for Port Huron and for this unit. And after Daniel Chartrand might have felt he was robbed of his 7th goal this season last Saturday in Athens, after all the chaos ended up in his goal being called off, he now does pick up his 7th of the year and 3rd on the man advantage, with Lockhart and Millette getting the assists. It's a 4-goal lead for Port Huron as Millette looking to do some more damage. Moves it up high to Parsons. Jumps in. Down to Federley. Prowlers whipping it around now. Floats towards the net and punched out of play by Ricky Gonzalez. The Prowlers reaching 6 goals for the first time this season. And a good look for their offense tonight. They've scored 2 goals in each period. Off this draw, Colton sends it around. Got through Buys, not through Parsons though. He keeps it deep. Poussel cycles towards DC. Comes around where Scantlebury was waiting. He's taken in by Kuhn. Kuhn tackles Scantlebury. Whistles blow as Scantlebury and Kuhn are still tangled up. Not sure who they're taking as the Rockers started moving up ice, but there was no whistle. Kuhn back to his skates. Scantlebury getting back up as well. And could this be a penalty against Scantlebury? Oh, Scantlebury and Kara Georges got into it a bit, and now Scantlebury is being waved over to the box. And maybe this was originally a penalty against Tucker Scantlebury, as he's the only one going to the penalty box. And we'll see what he gets. A roughing call against Scantlebury. We'll let you know as soon as the penalty comes down. Just 2 minutes up on the board for Scantlebury. And the 3rd Rockers power play of the game, as this game has gotten away from the home side. They'll try to get themselves just a little bit closer back in it. True Balance penalty kill, perfect tonight, 2 for 2.
That call results in a Rockers power play, powered by Continental Electrical Products.
So just the 1 penalty, 2 for roughing to Scantlebury.
Continental is the premier partner of the Motor City Rockers.
Up this face-off, Rockers set up. It's Miguel Diaz giving it across to Milam, right back to Miguel Diaz. Floats a shot through, looking for a friendly stick, instead it was knocked away. Kenyon to Wells down low. Bounced up high. Miguel Diaz walks the blue line. Milam a drive and a kick save and a beauty from Valtteri Nusiainen. And here's Frazee behind everybody with 2 in the game. Frazee able to shoulder off most of that check from Avery Smith. Wasted a little bit more time. Back come the Rockers. Miguel Diaz makes a move to the forehand, gets in, and Nusiainen shoulders it down and hangs on. So we have just about hit the midway point of period 3, and the Prowlers have scored twice. Those 2 goals coming a minute and 24 seconds apart from Joel Frazee and Daniel Chartrand. Made it a 4-goal lead. Sim and Sneath for this face-off. Sim able to win it back. Colton across to Oakes. Down to Tellstrom, gives it right back. Oakes, Tellstrom again. Centering feed, Sneath misfired on the one-timer, and the Prowlers clear. Gonzalez had to play it away from the oncoming Kenny Stiles. Flying up is Oakes. Left it there along the half wall. Tellstrom poked it down to Kuhn. Oakes harassed there, taken into the boards. Sneath comes in for the puck. Over to Colton. Head up, Tellstrom, one-timer, and that one knocked out of play by Nusiainen with the blocker. 9:20 left to go in the third, 38 seconds left in Scantleberry's penalty, and we'll take a break here on the PHP Network.
EDA, providing local business support for over 70 years. And helping to boost our region's workforce, retain and attract talent. Working to grow the local economy and the flow of money into our community to help businesses be profitable and successful. Focused on improving the region's economic strength and quality of life for residents. To learn more about the EDA of St. Clair County, visit edascc.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
38 seconds left to go on this Rockers man advantage, their third of the night. They already have 2 shots on it. They are trailing by 4. Prowlers have overwhelmed the Motor City defense tonight. 41 shots on goal and 6 tallies. Rockers power play continues. Oakes over to Colton. And back to Cody Oakes. Tellstrom. Oakes again at the top. Now Colton steps into it. Shot deflected wide by Sneath. And Parsons fires it only as far as Oakes, who gloves it down at the line. Colton with a lane to the net, takes the shot, and he scores. I think that one hit off of a Prowler on the way through. It's a power play goal, looks like for Josh Colton. And the Rockers get one back with under 9 to play. It just did change direction on the way through on Nusiainen. Just slightly changed direction, changed speed, fooled him a little bit. And Colton has his 5th goal of the year and 4th on the man advantage. Still a 3-goal lead for the Prowlers. Rockers getting a little bit of life in this building. Milam slaps one. That's stopped by Nusiainen. Scantleberry enters the offensive zone. Poked off his stick by Milam. Gagnon on the counter. Working on Tellstrom. Gagnon to the net. Saved by Nusiainen. And he'll eat it up to get a whistle and a face-off. Tellstrom and Wells have to be separated by men in stripes. And we are all set for another face-off deep in Prowlers territory. This will be to Nusiainen's left. Cody Oakes and Matthias Tellstrom picking up the assists on the goal by Josh Colton. For Oakes, now a point in 4 of his last 5 games. Milam's one-timer, steered away by Nusiainen. Smith tried to turn it back towards the net. Comes all the way through. Federley picks it up on the other side. Over to Graham. Goes back across towards Federley, just hopped over his stick. Millette able to pull it out. Millette works up top. Escapes Smith. Couldn't dance around Gagnon. He dumps it down deep. Federley and Wells tied up. And Smith taken into the boards by Federley. Slipped down towards Millette by Graham. Millette's turning on Milam, who takes him into the wall. Graham trying to feed it out in front. And so is cut off, and Buys works out on Lockhart, who stands him up. Parsons back to collect in his own end. Gives it over to Lockhart. Looking towards Bussell. That was taken away. Here's Karageorgis. He was tied up by Lockhart on the back check. Centering feed knocked away by Bussell. Miguel Diaz to the net, blocked by Bussell and out of the zone. And now the face-off comes. Looks like offsides possibly at the Prowler line. So we'll have a face-off right at center ice, it looks like. Maybe the puck actually ended up in a bench. I can't tell from here. Tough angle for us to see. As where this camera is right now, this is where I stand now for these games. As DC starts to work his way up on the right wing side, center, Bussell scores! The extra point is good for the Prowlers. Jamie Bussell has made it 7-3. Goals in back-to-back games now for Bussell. Nice pass by DC. Prowlers back in business as they respond quickly. 7:09 still to go in this third period. The Prowlers have extended their season high in goals in a game. DC tried to pull it away. Here comes Bussell. Gets to the net. Knocked down. DC trying to bang it in. Scantleberry couldn't do it either, as Gonzalez was way out of his net, but that puck was bouncing around. Here comes Oakes to the Prowler goal. Poked away by Nusiainen. All kinds of chaos down by Ricky Gonzalez's end. That puck bouncing just too much for the Prowlers to poke it home. DC works back in, but Scantleberry just a little too quick. Offsides called against Port Huron. Under 6.5 left to go in regulation. Please do stick around for the postgame show here on the PHP Network. We'll go back through this one, take a look at whatever games are going on in the FPHL by then. So keep it here after this one ends. And then we'll see you at the brass rail. And right off the face-off, Paris is jumped by Wells, and now Paris and Smith have dropped the mitts. Paris throwing right hands at Avery Smith. Paris with some angry rights. Smith comes back with a right of his own. Paris has Smith's jersey over his head. Now he's back. Smith has no helmet. They continue to wrestle around. Paris has lost his helmet. Smith almost lost his balance, but he stays up. Now Smith's jersey over his head. Paris swinging away. This is a long fight. Great stamina from the two big men, and Paris with a good punch. And now they'll get in to separate them. And that one personal for Isaiah Paris. It was Avery Smith who threw the check from behind on Paris in the 4th game of the season. That sent Paris to the IR. Paris missed nearly 2 months, and he's certainly been waiting for this one to get Avery Smith back, and he does it right there. Great fight from Paris. A long one, and both guys got some great shots in. looks like Paris is heading off the ice. They've sent Paris to the locker room and Smith to the penalty box with 6:27 left to go in the third. And it feels like in these games between the Prowlers and the Rockers, you wait for this to happen as Eli Rivers is limping down the Rockers tunnel. Might have to keep an eye on that, see if he comes back. But in these rivalry games, the Battle of I-94, one of the fiercest in the FPHL. It always feels like something can break loose, as Josh Colton and Austin Federley are getting the explanation from the referees. And it looks like Isaiah Paris has gotten an extra 2, so his night is over, as he'll have to serve 7 minutes with the 2 minutes for whatever this minor penalty is, plus the 5 for fighting. So the Rockers will go to their 4th power play of the game. They're 1 for 3 so far, scored a power play goal here in the third, their only goal of period 3. It's Daniel Chartrand you see there on your screen, making somebody's night. And a great new year for that little girl over there who is ecstatic that she just got a game puck from number 21 in white. Prowlers have to put somebody in the road penalty box so that we can begin this Rockers power play, because again, Paris's night is done as he picks up 7 minutes of penalty time. And why not? Coach Graham has called his own number to go sit in the box. Or maybe Chris Paulin told him to. That's another option. Now Smith and Paris, of course, 5 minutes each for fighting, as the penalties are coming down on my sheet now. Face-off getting set to go to Nusiainen's left. And Paris got an extra 2 for instigator. So that's why his night's done. Shot by Oaks through traffic, steered to the corner by Nusiainen. Kuhn lost an edge. Puck is loose. Frazee only able to clear it as far as Colton. Worked along the wall, now up high to Colton. Kuhn and Colton, they continue to play catch. Colton watched by Frazee at the top, now gives to Oaks. Colton one-timer, and he pushed it back wide the other direction. Oaks to the net, deflected, and Nusiainen able to make the save. Kuhn was knocked down in front. The net came off its moorings. We got a whistle and a face-off. Minute 18 left on this Rockers power play.
Like the Rockers, move their fists across the ice.
See if they keep the draw inside. Looks like they will. Prowlers have the same 4 killers out there. I'm not sure if they were allowed to change or not. Well, the Rockers have switched up the power play unit. It's Kara Georges getting set to draw against Bussell. Delaney with his head up towards the net. Moves it down the wall and gets it back. Delaney to McGill Diaz. Kara Georges fires it across towards Tim Delaney. That one out of his reach. Delaney plays it around Frazee. Didn't get much on that pass. Now Kara Georges has to retreat back to his own end. Frazee off to get a change. Kara Georges spinning. Played it right off of Chartrand. Short-handed. Saved by Gonzalez with the blocker. As Chartrand with a steal. Got in right on net by Ricky Gonzalez. Able to reach out the blocker and make the save. A face-off will be deep in Rockers territory as we continue this Motor City power play. 43 seconds left on it. And frustration sounds being heard from the Rockers bench and the Prowlers bench cheering it on. as somebody on the Rockers bench was slamming that door, and the Prowlers bench stood up and started tapping their sticks on the boards. Rockers dump it back in. Parsons trying to push his way through Tellstrom. Sneath took a stick up high. Play continues, no arms up in the air as Colton gave it across to Tellstrom. Couldn't pull the trigger. Now Sneath looks towards the net, goes back to Tellstrom. Down low, Sneath on the one-timer as the Rockers go tic-tac-toe, but Nusiainen sticks out the blocker to make the save. Final 8 seconds coming up on this Rockers power play on the other side here on the PHP Network.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Two chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast Friday, January the 3rd, when the Prowlers host the Binghamton Black Bears. Puck drop scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pregame show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the PHP Network. Of course, if you can make it out to that game to McMorran Place, get your tickets now at phprowlers.com/tickets. Milam slides it down the wall. Colton from a sharp angle. Kicked out by Nusiainen. Back to 5-on-5. And sent all the way down on Gonzalez. Came hard off his stick. Tellstrom beat Graham to it, though. And Tellstrom played it off the boards right to Federley. Federley jumps in, swung and missed at the one-timer. Kuhn sends Sneath into the Prowlers zone. Spinning, played it off a skate. Johnson could head up ice with it. Now Graham gets it from Federley. Graham backhanded across, and that one off a skate. And back the other direction comes Colton. Dumped in, Parsons hangs out, and he fires it up to Frazee. 2 in the game, here he comes. Frazee, stopped by Gonzalez. Again, 2 Prowlers with 2 goals tonight, Frazee and Scantleberry. Sims spinning, took a hit, gave it off to Frazee, tried to drop it to Thelstrom. That one knocked into the Rockers bench as Thelstrom was challenged there at the blue line. Well, it looks like the Prowlers will be able to wrap up this one, take a 5-1 lead in the Battle of I-94 this season. This is the most goals they've scored in a game this year, one of their best efforts of the season. They do it on New Year's Eve against their rival. Maybe they should play more games on Tuesdays. I'm not sure I'd like that. It's less time for me to prepare. Brockway back in his own end. And now Lockhart looks to start up. Lockhart up the right wing. Works in. Off to Bussell, but passes in his skates. Bussell taps it back to Brockway. Lockhart had it blocked. Recollects. Walks down and in. Saved by Gonzalez, and he clamps the glove down on the rebound. Plenty of traffic in front. Scantleberry getting a couple of shoves from Wells and then Rotundi. And Tucker Scantleberry will get his last words in. Now Kara-Georgis is being sent to the box. Flips Scantleberry a little bit, it looks like. And the referees want to make sure this one doesn't get out of hand, so they'll take Soterios Kara-Georgis to the penalty box, give him 2. I believe the slashing was the signal. And the Prowlers to their 7th power play of the game. They have 2-man advantage goals so far tonight. And they had the unit out there with the 2 hat trick watch guys, Frazee and Scantleberry. Scantleberry in the corner. Reverses back up the wall. Frazee keeps it moving for Lockhart. Now Frazee down for Scantleberry. Floats it across towards Millette. Reaches back out for it. Across to Lockhart. Chartrand heading to the top of the crease. Floated across to Frazee. Takes a look in front. Chartrand stopped by Gonzalez. And Gonzalez swimming in the blue paint as McGill Diaz couldn't slide it out. That time Wells able to. And he gets it all the way down. 30 seconds gone on this Prowlers power play. And now arms up in the air. Chartrand and Rotundi down at center ice. And their gloves are down. Rotundi throwing some quick rights. Chartrand's trying to grab at his helmet. Rotundi has Chartrand's jersey up on his face. Penalties were coming up against these two, and that was the reason for the whistle. And then they decided to go. Now Chartrand getting a second wind. A few good leaps, and down goes Rotundi. Early showers for those two, as Daniel Chartrand and Ryan Rotundi put on a bit of a show with 2:17 left in this one. Not sure what the original penalties were, as they blew it dead while the Prowlers were moving up ice. And it looks like it was against Chartrand. So we'll have some 4-on-4 for the next minute and 22 seconds before an extremely brief Rockers power play is scheduled. Reggie Millette just went over to the penalty box to hand Daniel Chartrand his stick, and Daniel Chartrand is in the locker room. Graham will take a seat and serve for the second time this period. Millette chatting with the Rockers bench, so is Austin Federley. Man, these two teams don't like each other. That's for sure. Face-off going to be deep in the Prowlers' end. Again, 4-on-4 for the next minute and 22 seconds before a very brief Rockers man advantage. Prowlers none too concerned with losing the rest of this power play as they lead by 4. Gagnon and Frazee will take this face-off. And now we're back to hockey. Gagnon makes a move. Had it poked off his stick by Millette. Pushed around the wall. Colton had his stick lifted by Parsons. And now Millette starts out of the zone on his horse. Here comes Millette, trying to slip it across to Frazee. Hopped away from him. Frazee back down the boards to Millette. In front, here's Frazee on the backhand, back to his forehand. He just pushed it wide, and he just went right behind the back. That would have been an impressive goal. Chartrand, by the way, got the extra 2 for slashing, and that's why the Rockers got back to 4-on-4 and why they'll have a brief power play coming up in 32 seconds. Floated across to DC, on for Sim. Catches up to it, spins away from McGill Diaz. Try to float a pass across. That didn't work. Thelstrom retreating back into his own end, chased by Tellstrom. Thelstrom up to DC. Makes a move around Delaney. DC to the front. That one off of McGill Diaz's stick. And back the other way comes Sneath. Rockers on a power play now as Sneath pulls up in the corner. Tellstrom back to the line. Karageorgis's shot held onto easily by Valtteri Nusiainen. That is save number 30 for him in this game. As Avery Smith has been let out of the penalty box. Final minute in this one. Matt Graham scheduled to come out of the box, serving the penalty for Chartrand in 31 seconds. Only 48 left to go in this game. Comes to the line. Miguel Diaz just did keep it in as he had to play it with his skates. Parsons trying to poke it along. And they get to Frazee, who just backhands it out, and then Frazee took a hard hit. Rockers trying to show some kind of fight in this game as Brockway dumps it all the way back down. Graham set to come out of the penalty box, and then hopefully we can play the final 17 seconds, 5-on-5. Parsons back deep. Off the boards and out. Colton collects in his own end as the final seconds tick off of this one. Prowlers dominant to end 2024. They win the first New Year's Eve game in the Fed this year. 7-3 your final. A 4-goal victory for the Prowlers here on the road. And the fans that came down to travel to support the Prowlers will head home happy back to Port Huron. And the Prowlers will head home happy back to Port Huron in just a few short minutes. Final shots in that third period, 13-11 in favor of Motor City. Prowlers outshot the Rockers 46-33 for the game. Those 46 shots, the fourth most that they've had in a game this season. And of course the 7 goals, the most that the Prowlers have had on net in any game this season. Well, stick around for the post-game show here on the PHP Network, but in case you have places to be and things to do, we'll give you one more invitation to tune into our next broadcast, Friday, January the 3rd, 7:05 puck drop at McMorran Place. So if you can be there, be at McMorran Place. If not, then hang out with us here on the PHP Network. But stick around again. Post-game show is next.
Seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Welcome back here to Big Boy Arena. 7-3 your final here between the Prowlers and the Motor City Rockers as Port Huron heads into 2025 with 3 points and with third place in the Empire Division as they move to 11-11-3 with 32 points. Rockers drop to 10-12-1, still 28 points, and still fifth in the Empire Division. Time now to go back through this game goal by goal. And it was the Rockers who actually started the scoring in this game. Avery Smith took advantage of a miscue while the Prowlers were on the power play, came all the way down for a short-handed breakaway goal, unassisted. And Motor City had a 1-0 lead, but just a minute and 9 seconds later, Ludwig Thelstrom with a shot from the blue line, or a minute and 11 seconds later, pardon me, a long wrist shot from the blue line. Don't think Ricky Gonzalez ever saw it. And Thelstrom, with his second goal of the year, tied things up at 1 apiece. Then the final minute of that opening period, Ryan Rotundi overskated the puck right in front of his own net, and Tucker Scantleberry said, "I'll take that, thank you very much." He tucked it home for his first of the night, that one unassisted, and the Prowlers went into the first intermission with a 2-1 lead. And they came out and they doubled the lead. A minute 43 into period 2. Prowlers shorthanded. Joel Frazee flew up the left wing side, and he picked the corner short side on Ricky Gonzalez. That was his first of the night, and that made it a 3-1 Prowlers lead. But Eli Rivers pulled the Rockers back within one with a quick shot that picked the corner on an odd man rush. It didn't last too long, though. A few minutes later, Tucker Scantleberry with his second of the night on the power play right along the ice. Again, I don't think Gonzalez saw that one either. And the Prowlers with a 4-2 lead at that point. And that's how they end the second and the third period. Frazee gets his second as the puck pinballed around the crease, and it found him on the back door. Daniel Chartrand, just a minute and 24 seconds later, took a backdoor pass from Brett Lockhart, second Prowlers power play goal of the game. And he finally put home his 7th of the year after he thought he was getting his 7th of the year in Athens last Saturday. That one got called off, but he picks it up for real tonight. They gave that power play goal for the Rockers in the third to Adam Kuhn. So credit Kuhn with his 4th of the year, and he snaps a 7-game point drought. That made it 6-3, but less than 2 minutes later, Stefan Deasy found Jamie Bussell driving the net on a rush, and the Prowlers kicked the extra point, and they win it tonight by a score of 7-3. Your third star of the game, Avery Smith with a goal. Second star, Tucker Scantleberry with 2. And the first star tonight, Joel Frazee, in a rink that he grew up playing in when he was growing up. He told me before the game he played here lots of times when he was a kid. He gets 2 tonight, and he is tonight's first star of the game. Those two pick up 2 goals each. Brett Lockhart, Stefan Deasy, and Reggie Millette with 2 assists apiece for the Prowlers as well. As we take a look at the final game stats, the power plays were cooking tonight as the Prowlers scored 2-man advantage goals, Rockers with 1, but the power plays also giving up a little bit as each team finished with a short-handed goal. You see the final shots tonight, 46-33, and things got a little bit out of hand at the end, couple of fights, and a few players got to head off to the showers early. But for a Prowlers-Rockers game, this was a good one. Prowlers take a 5-1 lead in the Battle of I-94. When we come back, we'll take one last look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and we'll wrap this one up and send you into 2025. So don't go away here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Will Wiggleman back one final time to Fraser, Michigan. Prowlers finish off the Rockers 7-3 tonight, and they go into the new year with 3 points. Time now to take one last look around the whole slate for the FPHL tonight. The Binghamton Black Bears have a 2-0 lead on the HC Venom in Binghamton. They're playing in the second period right now. Black Bears up on shots 28-9. They had 24 in the first period and got goals from Gavin Yates and Tyson Kirkby. Dropping the puck just about an hour from now, Seawolves are in Athens to take on the Rock Lobsters. Half an hour after that, it will be the Louisiana rivalry, Zydeco at Monroe. And then an hour after that, 8:35 p.m., puck drop in Winston-Salem between the Thunderbirds and the Blue Ridge Bobcats. That will be the final FPHL game of the calendar year 2024. Of course, here the Prowlers pick up the victory tonight, 7-3. One last reminder, tune in to our next broadcast Friday, January the 3rd, when the Prowlers host the Binghamton Black Bears. Puck drop scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 6:50, and we will have it for you here. But in case you can make it to McMorran Place, please do, as it should be a great game, great matchup, as the Prowlers take on the top team in the FPHL. That's going to do it for me. Thank you to Tyreek for running the camera for me tonight. I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2025 here on the PHP Network.